One of the world's best middleweights, Gegard-Mousasi, makes his much-anticipated Bellator debut in tonight's main event.
He's the kind of guy that gets offended if you don't punch him.
When he faces former world champion Alexander ШЛЕМЕНКO.
That is vintage Alexander ШЛЕМЕNКO.
Plus, Heather the Heat Hardy returns, looking to stay perfect as a pro in the Bellator cage. Presented by Miller Lite, this is Bellator.185 МУСАСИ versus ШЛЕМЕНКO, live and free on Spike. For the 15th time, Bellator MMA visits the Mohegan Sun Casino Resort. And inside the Mohegan Sun Arena, we are set. 10 mixed martial artists will be rolling the dice, hoping to hit the jackpot inside the Bellator MMA cage. And coming up in the main event, it's the much ballyhooed Bellator debut of the prized free agent, Gegard-Mousasi, as he squares off with former Bellator middleweight champion, Alexander ШЛЕМЕНКO. He is Jimmy Smith, I'm Mauro Ranallo, and tonight in the featured attraction, we promise an Oktoberfest of fistic fury. Jimmy, ШЛЕМЕNKO has gone on record as saying this will be the most brutal fight in Bellator MMA history.
Well, that's how he always tries to fight. When I asked Gegard-Mousasi about this fight, he said, I know he's going to be in front of me. I know he's going to be aggressive. I know he's going to use a lot of unorthodox techniques. He's looking forward to that. He wants the guy who's going to stand in front of him, give him the kind of debut that will make Bellator fans call for the title shot for Gegard-Mousasi. He knows free agents, some have done great, some haven't. He wants to start off on the right foot against a former champion.
Mousasi, a well-traveled veteran, a champion in 4 different organizations, went 9-3 inside the octagon before jumping ship. But ШЛЕМЕNKO promises that the waters here in Bellator MMA are going to be choppy. The winner will probably get an opportunity at the Bellator middleweight title, currently around the waist of Rafael Carvalho. All right, well, we are set for 2 other debuts, in fact, in the women's flyweight division. Former boxing champion Anna Hulaton making her first appearance inside the Bellator MMA cage against her opponent, Lisa Blaine, who is 1-0 in her embryonic mixed martial arts career. Taylor, the tape is brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
And you just said it, the lack of experience. 1-0 for Lisa Blaine. And at Hulaton, 2-2. How will they control the nerves in this fight?
With the official introductions, here is the voice of Bellator MMA, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Tonight, live on Spike, Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA. From Mohegan Sun, we begin with flyweight, set for 3 5-minute rounds, brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports. And now, introducing first the blue corner. At 5'5", she weighed in 122.8. Her professional record early on stands at 1-0. She fights out of North Haven, Connecticut, Lisa Insane Blaine. And across the cage, her adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'4", weighing in 125.5. The former boxing world champion tonight in her Bellator debut stands at 2-2, fighting out of Las Vegas by way of San Francisco, California. Introducing Anna Hulaton. In charge of the action, your referee, Brian Miner.
So Brian Miner is the 3rd individual inside the cage overseeing this women's flyweight matchup scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Both ladies making their respective Bellator debuts. Hulaton, a former super bantamweight champion in boxing. She's in the red gloves. Blaine in the blue gloves, and the fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Cheers. It's Miller time. Hulaton 2-2 as a mixed martial artist.
She's already throwing more kicks than I expected her to throw. Lisa Blaine, Taekwondo background. I knew she was going to throw a lot of kicks, try and control the range.
The 38-year-old Blaine took this fight on 4 weeks' notice, has been training in MMA for 4 years, had no previous martial arts experience. The main when she started was to have one amateur fight. And here she is now fighting on the biggest stage, the Bellator MMA cage. And of course, the women's flyweight division will crown its first ever champion at Bellator 186, November 3rd, Penn State, State College, Pennsylvania. Lima Lee McFarland against Emily Ducote in a rematch. The winner will become the first ever Bellator women's flyweight champ.
Adrian Peterson tweeting out some luck to Anna Hulaton.
He's found a new home in his NFL career in Hulaton, and Blaine looking to make Bellator MMA their home. And Johnny Damon, former Major League Baseball player, also supporting Anna Hulaton, and Hulaton getting a lot of press. She's managed now by Brett Raymer from the show Tanked on Animal Planet, as well as Russell Collins. Trains with a new Bellator heavyweight signing, Frank Mir.
She's certainly got the reputation. She certainly has all the buzz. It's a matter of going out there and performing, though.
Yeah, she made her pro MMA debut in May of 2014, but the last time she fought under mixed martial arts rules was in December of 2015, a loss at one championship in the Far East.
I'm amazed at the range this fight is taking place at. It is taking place at kicking range. Both ladies very, very far out.
And you have to respect Lisa Blaine, who still works a 40-hour work week for a company that makes medical supplies, juggling a full-time job with training in mixed martial arts, and now an opportunity to secure a future here in Bellator MMA on short notice. Just past the midpoint of the first round as Blaine and Hulaton jockey for position along the cage.
My question is, who's going to commit to the takedown rather than just holding this clinch position? Blaine in position for that inside trip. So far, she's not using it.
Hulaton went 14-4 as a boxer. And by the way, she remains active in boxing, like Heather Hardy, who we will see later on tonight. And you have to wonder, Jimmy, it's so hard to be good at just one sport, to try to remain active in two different combat sports. And believe me, they are two different combat sports. It's easier said than done.
Especially at the level at which they are used to being successful. You have the occasional amateur fight and the occasional pro fight, that's fine. These ladies want to compete at the world championship level in boxing and maintain an MMA career. That's tough.
Blaine made her pro MMA debut this past summer in June, knocking out Tammy Warwick in the second round.
The outside trip, she gets it.
And the side control now on Hulaton, and Hulaton again having trained with one of the best submission artists in MMA, Frank Mir, and we'll see how she fares on her back.
This has been so far a pretty close round. Had Hulaton slightly ahead, and then here's this takedown.
Final minute of the first frame. Good reversal by Hulaton, back up to her feet, but now Blaine fishing for that guillotine.
Will she commit her hips to it? That's always the question. Arm position's not that tough. It's a matter of committing your hips. So far, she's not doing that. She's cranking hard on it.
Blaine taking a look at the clock and continues to work on positioning, trying to submit Hulaton with the guillotine choke.
Problem is hard to do with the arm over top. You see Hulaton has that arm over the top. That might save her, but so far, Blaine committing with her arms, but not her hips.
The first round of this women's flyweight matchup is in the books here at Bellator 185. Hey, Bellator fans, you want the same gear the fighters wear? Well, head to BellatorShop.com now for all your official Bellator MMA merch.
Round two. Round two.
And Jimmy, who wore the first round better?
Man, that was a tough one. Extremely close. Neither fighter did much. Hulaton, the aggressor, a little more. Just like this, she kind of took the center of the cage. So I gave it to her barely 10-9. Blaine got the takedown, didn't do much with it. If she'd stayed on top a little bit longer, she would have had the round, in my opinion.
That's the unofficial scorecard, courtesy of my broadcast partner, Jimmy Smith. Round 2 underway. Hulaton from a southpaw stance, but switches, catches the kick from Blaine, and backs her up into the fence.
But I'll tell you, it wouldn't surprise me if this card was all over the place. First round just didn't have a lot to go on. Going high crotch, not committing to it, and back in the guillotine again. Once again, Blaine just not committing her hips to it. It's not the kind of choke you can finish with just your arms.
Hulaton pummeling now has Blaine against the fence, but Blaine immediately turns the tables in this 125-pound affair. Again, the first champion to be crowned next month at Penn State. And even though they're in their late 30s and not much experience because of the new division,
yes,
and the lack of depth, as it were, Jimmy, there's an opportunity here for these ladies to get right into the deep end.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to get in there, be considered up amongst the elite. Not a lot of fighters at 125 in the women's division have full MMA careers yet. Linda Ovchinnikova, I think, has the most fights in that division. We're talking 4 or 5 fights. We're talking about a title shot.
Hulaton began training Taekwondo at 10 years of age, spent time training Taekwondo in South Korea at 18. She is a black belt in Taekwondo. And of course, training Taekwondo in South Korea is like training Muay Thai in Thailand.
The home of it. And this time, in this second round, Blaine being more of the aggressor, pushing Hulaton against the fence.
Referee calls for a break, resets the action in the center of the cage, and would like a little more action from these two ladies. Hulaton fighting from the southpaw stance. Hulaton already calling out Heather Hardy, who is making her sophomore appearance in the Bellator MMA cage later tonight. First things first, get your Bellator debut out of the way against Elisa Blaine, as there's some Taekwondo on display from Hulaton.
This is what Blaine has really yet to overcome, is the fact that Hulaton takes the center of the cage, makes her play on the outside, dictating the action a little bit more.
Like so many other mixed martial artists, Hulaton remembers watching Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon and immediately falling in love with martial arts.
I can't believe Hulaton hasn't thrown more punches. Almost exclusively kicks.
Inside low kick by Blaine. Minute and a half remaining in the round. Midway point of the fight. Scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in the Bellator MMA women's flyweight division. These two are taxing the runway right now, not exactly flying yet.
Yeah.
And the takedown by Blaine.
Now she has much more time than she did in round 1. Can she do something with this ground and pound and win back the round?
Hulaton trying to scramble, but gives up her neck in the process. Blaine now dropping some hammer fists on Hulaton, who reverses it back in the top position in the close guard of Lisa Blaine.
All she had to do is maybe stay on top, solidify that position. Ends up losing the scramble, ending up on bottom.
Lisa Blaine told us that she wanted to make sure to give her girlfriend Lori a shout out, as she's really been supportive. Again, we talked about Blaine having a full-time job and taking this fight on 4 weeks' notice. Always helps to have a strong support network. "20 seconds left in the second round. A stalemate here. Blaine controlling Hulaton's posture.
What Hulaton needs to do is free her arms, get back to the ground and pound position. She did nothing with this. Could have really iced the round, and she didn't.
Third and final round is straight ahead here at Bellator 185. The Inkmaster Angels are traveling the country looking to do battle with great local artists, and for those that can defeat an angel, there's a guaranteed spot to compete on the next season of Inkmaster. It's the new series Inkmaster Angels, Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on Spike. All right, it's the second round, and I know the fans here at Mohegan Sun hope that these two start to tattoo each other a little more. Or third round, excuse me. Anna Houlitan in the red gloves. Lisa Blaine in the blue gloves. Jimmy, not a lot going on in that second round. How do you have it after 10 minutes?
Once again, by a slim margin, Anna Houlitan, she takes the center. She's being the aggressor. Blaine got the takedown, but was reversed very quickly. Wasn't able to stabilize and really make anything out of it.
Talk about adjustments you'd like to see each one of these individuals make, beginning with Houlitan.
See that chin? Hit it. The point is, she's too far out. She's not using her hands effectively. She's controlling the real estate, but not moving forward and getting Blaine a reason to really step back, really hurt her, really solidify this in the eyes of the judges. The loser of this fight, no matter who it is, no matter what happens, unless it's a finish, will think, man, if I'd done just a little bit more, that's what you don't want to think at the end of an MMA fight.
The same go for Blaine?
Exactly. Whatever her offense,
takedown here.
Whatever her offense was, whatever she trained in the gym, that's my attack. That's what I really want to do. She hasn't done it yet.
Do you think Houlitan's fallen in love too much with her kicks in this fight?
Yeah, I think it's been safe for her. She's been able to keep her opponent at range with her feet, and she feels like she's picking her apart from the outside. That's why she hasn't closed distance. But I haven't seen that offensive explosion from Blaine. I haven't got a sense of, okay, this is how she thought she was going to win the fight. Haven't seen that yet.
Blaine is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu blue belt, but did have a submission win as an amateur, where she went 3-2. This is her second fight as a professional in this her Bellator MMA debut, working from Houlitan's closed guard.
She's been a little busier on top. She's solidifying this position better than she had in previous rounds. So what you want to do, you want to test how Houlitan's ground game.
Houlitan striking, from the bottom. Houlitan says that at the age of 37, she feels she has 3 years left of combat sports competition. In terms of MMA competition, she's coming off a 679-day layoff, the longest of her more than 3-year career. As we come up on the halfway point of the final round.
Nice short elbows. I like what she's doing on top. Good stuff. Houlitan doesn't like it, trying to push her away. Blaine's got to keep the pressure on. Good stuff. This is the kind of decisive attack I was talking about. She's in position. She's putting it on Houlitan. She's being the boss in there. First time we've really seen that.
Houlitan trying to control Blaine's posture. Under 2 minutes left in the fight. Getting things started here at Bellator.185 at the Mohegan Sun Arena.
See the inexperience on both sides in terms of Blaine hasn't done a whole lot to pass guard, and Houlitan hasn't done a whole lot from her back. She pushed away a couple times, but no real offense in terms of her submission. And Blaine has given her opportunities. She hasn't taken them.
We asked Blaine what it would take to defeat Houlitan. She says, whatever it takes, she just wants her hand raised, doesn't care what she has to do to make it happen, trying to make it happen here in the third and final round. As we reach the final 60 seconds of this women's flyweight fight. Referee admonishing Houlitan can't upkick to the head from a grounded position.
And I think that was a good non-call. She was more pushing with the legs than kicking. It kind of grazed, but I think that was a good non-call. If you're playing, you just dive in right now. Man, she lets her back up again. She's having success on the ground.
Houlitan working the body while Blaine feeding her a couple of right uppercuts. The most sustained offensive action we have seen. Coming up on 15 minutes here in the women's flyweight division. It appears it will go to the judges' scorecards. The Bellator MMA debuts of Anna Houlitan and Insane Lisa Blaine. We'll find out who the winner is after this. one of Bellator MMA's regular stops, Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. We are ready for the official decision for our opening bout, women's flyweight action. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance inside the Bellator cage, we'll go to your judges' scorecards. Your first judge, Derek Cleary, scores the fight 29-28, scoring the fight for Blaine. Your second judge, Jeff Mullen, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Hulaten. Your third and final judge at cage side, Doug Crosby, scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Lisa Insane Blaine.
On 4 weeks' notice, Insane Lisa Blaine wins her Bellator MMA debut. Successful over Anna Hulaten, who came in with all the hype and the buzz. But Jimmy, it's Lisa Blaine who improves to 2-0, winning her first fight in Bellator MMA.
She had the only decisive round of the fight. Round 3 was the only one that I thought solidly belonged to one fighter, and that was Lisa Blaine. She finished strong.
Well, Bellator 185 will roll on, but there's so much more exciting Bellator MMA action coming your way next month.
In November, we give thanks for 3 great shows. First up, November 3rd, from the campus of Penn State University, light heavyweight champion Ryan Bader makes his first title defense when he takes on Linton Vassell.
Ryan Bader, where you at?
Plus, 2 Happy Valley alums, middleweight phenom Ed Ruth and former light heavyweight champ Phil Davis.
Oh my God!
Return to their alma mater as pros for the first time. And history will be made as Bellator crowns the first ever women's flyweight world champion when undefeated Alima Leigh McFarlane meets Emily Ducote. Then the Bellator cage once again heads overseas. On November 10th from the 3 Arena in Dublin, AJ McKee looks to keep his perfect record intact.
Pure dominance.
When he takes on Irishman Brian Moore. The following week, Bellator returns to Israel for an exciting rematch. The last time they met, featherweight world champion Patricio Pitbull was seconds away from being upset by Daniel Weichel. But a stunning Pitbull left hook ended it.
Another spectacular comeback!
At Bellator 188, they meet again in Tel Aviv. It'll be a November to remember, all live and free on Spike.
And I encourage you to get your tickets for 3 mega events coming up in November, December, and January. Visit arena box offices and Ticketmaster for your ducats. Well, coming up, it is action in the Bellator men's lightweight division as we have Marcus of Blueprint Sorin making his Bellator debut. He takes on Ryan Quinn, who hopes to improve to 8-1 in the Bellator MMA cage. It's Sorin squaring off with Quinn at Bellator 185 next. For the first time in his illustrious career, Gegard Mousasi enters an arena as a Bellator mixed martial artist, one of the top 3 agents in the sport. Has come to Bellator MMA. He holds 6 victories over former UFC, Strikeforce, or Bellator champions. Hopes to make it 7 tonight when he takes on former Bellator middleweight champ Alexander Storm ШЛЕМЕНКO. You know, Bellator 185 underwent more changes than a newborn baby, but the marquee matchup remains intact. And it features 2 guys who want to treat each other like a baby treats a diaper. Cannot wait. ШЛЕМЕНКO versus Mousasi. Expect fistic fireworks in the main event. And we are set for action in the Bellator MMA men's lightweight division. Tale of the tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
You see the height of Sorin, 6 foot at 155 pounds, very tall.
With the official introductions, here once again is Michael C. Williams.
From Mohegan Sun Arena, Bellator MMA presented by Miller Lite now moves to the lightweight division. 3 5-minute rounds brought to you tonight by Spike Sports. And we introduce first the blue corner. At 6 foot, weighing in, 155 pounds even. His professional record, undefeated, 4 victories, no defeats. Fighting out of New York, Marcus, the Blueprint Byron. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'8", weighing in 155.5 pounds as a professional. 13 victories, 7 defeats, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida. He hails from New Fairfield, Connecticut, presenting Ryan the Mighty Quinn. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge, Todd Anderson.
All right, bud.
You ready? You ready? Hey!
Fight Clock brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Cheers, it's Miller time. Marcus of Blueprint Serin in the blue gloves. He is 4-0. The mighty Ryan Quinn. He is 13-7-1 in the red gloves. And Jimmy, while we wish all the injured parties a speedy recovery, it does create opportunity for others like these two. They were scheduled to be on the prelims. Now a chance to perform on the big stage where they get an opportunity to prove they're worthy of marquee billing.
And now they put the pressure on. They have to earn that spot, make the most of it. One thing to be on the main card, it's another to make fans remember your performance.
Quinn Pummelet looking to turn the tables on Serin. They punch on the exit.
Serin, a wrestler at Clarion University.
Yeah, actually was team captain his senior year. College teammate of the former UFC lightweight champ. Started wrestling at 12. Another guy works a 56-hour week for an investment bank. Competes in MMA because he loves it. And I would, for one, love to see him make some deposits to the body early. Make that investment, Jimmy. It's still something that is not always seen regularly in MMA.
Underused.
As Quinn now looks for the takedown, secures the single leg, and Quinn has won 3 of his last 5 fights. In his last outing, he lost to Saad Awad at Bellator.178 in April of this year.
Nice roll. Great job with that, but he said against Saad Awad, the problem was, he goes, I made mistakes that Saad Awad pointed out afterwards.
Yeah,
hey, don't do this, don't do that.
Class act, right? He reached out to Quinn on social media, gave him some pointers. Quinn made his Bellator debut at Bellator 15 way back in April of 2010, defeating Matt Lee. He was an All-American high school wrestler, began at 12, so these two very well-schooled in the wrestling discipline.
He's has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Under Ricardo Laborio, a top team. He's got to use a little bit more of that. He's trying to do it right there. Trying to step through and take the back. A little bit premature. He gave Serin the space to get back up. He's going to be looking for a switch here. Trying to get that arm through the legs on the left side. Just like that.
Quinn is currently attending Broward College studying exercise physiology. Hopes to graduate in the spring. Now delivering some left hands to the head of Serin. Serin back up to his feet. Serin started competing in MMA, or started training at the relatively advanced age of 30, now 36. Brings an undefeated record into his Bellator debut, but Quinn immediately attacks the back, looking to put the hooks in.
It's exactly what Quinn wanted. He wasn't able to get dominant positions and hold them against Saad Awad. But this is early, not a lot of sweat, and he's exactly where he wants to be.
4 of Quinn's 13 wins have come via submission. Looking for his third rear naked choke victory if he's able to get it. Serin defending.
Got to defend now. Chin down, worry about the neck. Worry about the body triangle later.
A minute and a half remaining in the first. Serin in peril as Quinn continues to fish for the rear naked choke.
He can power this under the neck. He can finish right now. He's going for it. It's not under yet. Serin turning the right way.
Quinn received his BJJ black belt from Ricardo Laborio in 2013. Representing the vaunted American top team in Coconut Creek, Florida, Serin escapes. But for how long? Under a minute left in the round.
But it's still Quinn putting the pressure on.
And Sorin seemed dazed there for a moment. He seemed like he was lost, but he escaped, and he's up against the fence now with 45 seconds left in the first frame.
That's something that's not talked about a whole lot, the energy it takes when you're defending a choke. It may look like he's doing nothing, but he spent a lot of gas and trying to avoid that submission.
And Sorin now delivering a knee, hoping to drop levels. Under 30 seconds left in the first round, and Sorin has rebounded, delivering some shots to the body. Head beautiful takeover by Sorin, and now he's looking for Quinn's back.
Trying to step over a little too quick.
Back and forth we go here. A fun first round between these two looking to make the most of their main card opportunity. Marcus Sorin, Ryan Quinn at lightweight. Coming up, it's women's flyweight action as Christina Williams takes on Heather Hardy. Hardy victorious in her Bellator MMA debut in her backyard at Madison Square Garden. But right now it's round two, and neither Sorin or Quinn willing to back down. As we heard from the late great Tom Petty, would have been his birthday today.
A legend, he will be missed.
And how do you have the opening round on your unofficial scorecard, Jim?
10-9 Quinn. He was the aggressor, took the back, wasn't able to get the choke, but certainly got his offense going, especially on the ground in round one.
Marcus, the blueprint, Sorin in the blue gloves. Nice horizontal elbow strike on the exit. The mighty Ryan Quinn in the red gloves.
Sorin just seems a little bit defensive so far. He's kind of backpedaling a little bit. He's using the jab effectively, but it's more a wait and see rather than getting his own offense going.
Yep, Sorin catches that right hand from Quinn, and Sorin is stapled to the fence again.
Like here, back to the fence, pummeling inside, but you don't get the sense he's thinking about his own takedown, about his own offense. He's been reactive. That's not how you want to be in an MMA fight.
Quinn changes levels, fighting hard for the takedown, and he secures it.
They're comparable in their wrestling, but we've seen his clear superiority in the jiu-jitsu of Quinn. When he's been on top, he has capitalized.
And when you get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from a guy like Ricardo Liborio, that's the real deal there, Jimmy.
Carlson Gracie, it's my team as well.
And we'll see another member of the famed Gracie family coming up, Naaman Gracie. Puts his undefeated record on the line. Later tonight at Bellator.185 as Quinn looks for the rear naked choke. Almost had it in the first round. Looking to secure it here in the second. More of a neck crank right now.
A lot more time, though. Sorin trying to roll out. Has to pull out his left arm, get it around the hip, just like that. Now he can stand up. What we've seen so far is Quinn get a little too excited about the choke, not stabilizing with his hips, really flattening Sorin out before he goes for it.
Quinn changes levels again, beautifully looking for the double leg, but a wide base by Sorin, still not enough to defend the takedown. Midpoint of the round and the fight. Current Bellator lightweight champion Brent Primus won it at Madison Square Garden earlier this year against Michael Chandler, who suffered an injury in the opening round. I know all fans would love to see that match done over again, but these two here looking to move up the ladder in the Bellator MMA lightweight division.
Let's not forget Pitbull and Goichi Yamauchi. Both guys look great in their last fights.
Bellator brings you two title fights. And it goes to Penn State. Light heavyweight champion Ryan Bader takes on the Swarm, Linton Vassell, plus Salima Leigh McFarland and Emily Ducote go toe-to-toe for a second time to crown a women's flyweight champion. Bellator MMA Friday, November 3rd at 9 p.m. live and free on Spike as Quinn once again secures the back of Marcus Sorin. A minute and a half left in the second round.
It's like a cut around the left eye of Quinn. Doesn't look to be too bad. Sorin's having his defensive moments, but not enough offensive moments. Yeah, just glued to Sorin. Almost a half wrestling ride here.
Under a minute left in the second round.
What Quinn has done very effectively, he switched from a wrestling ride to the jiu-jitsu ride, which usually hooks, but he's been able to move back and forth between the two, holding Sorin down and then going for the kill with the hooks. He's mixing them both together extremely well.
And Marcus Sorin continues to feel the pressure, the body lock of Ryan Quinn here, coming up on the final 30 seconds of the second round. Elbows to the side of the head by Sorin. Might want to revamp his blueprint, Jimmy. Marcus Sorin has been in the clutches of Ryan Quinn for the majority of this round.
He's got to be the initiator in round 3. He has not been the initiator in this fight. It's Quinn that has led the dance.
Third and final round. When we come back, you're watching Bellator 185. Bellator MMA and Spike encourage our nation's veterans to make the same commitment to their health that they made to their country. Veterans Operation Wellness promotes physical and mental health and wellness. What's your vow? The bell in round 3. Marcus the Blueprint Sorin in the blue gloves. The mighty Ryan Quinn in the red gloves. How do you have it after 2 rounds, Jimmy?
Easy, 2 rounds to none for Quinn. I didn't go 10-8 in round 2. You could have, though. It was a wipeout, but didn't have that kind of dominance. Mostly a grappling match and controlled by Quinn. Front headlock position. Hips aren't in the right position to transition to guillotine. He lets it go.
Yeah, Sorin defending the takedown attempt by Quinn.
But you see what I mean about he defends the takedown great. Didn't follow up with any of his own counter attack. Okay, it happened now. Let's see what I can get done. Has to go for his own takedown. Quinn has been dictating what happens in this fight.
Jab by Sorin. But it's been Quinn who's been the more dynamic fighter again. Changes levels. Looking to pick up the single, but defended by Sorin against the fence.
In high crotch position. And Sorin has spent so much of this fight against the fence.
And a boisterous crowd supporting Sorin. Over 100 family and friends are here tonight to see Marcus the Blueprint Sorin. They would like to see him doing a little better at this stage.
A near side cradle.
And now
helps him get top position.
In the half guard, the half butterfly guard. Now the open guard of Quinn, who's trying to push Sorin away. Sorin looking at pass guard in the side control, trying to maximize this opportunity here in the final round.
Good pressure, but so far not able to get around the guard of Quinn. But finally putting physical pressure on his opponent. Something we haven't seen in the first 2 rounds.
Sorin with that waist lock, looking to pick up Quinn. Quinn dropping his center of gravity. Now it's Sorin looking for the rear naked choke.
Might be a little too aggressive trying to get hooks here. He's very, very high, and he lets it go. Wasn't in the right position to throw in 2 hooks.
Just past the midpoint of the final round, and it's now an anaconda choke attempt by the mighty Ryan Quinn. Quinn representing the American top team was Brazilian top team's Milton Vieira.
Yep.
Who showed the Nogueiras the anaconda choke back in the day.
Great choke, but he knows when to give it up.
Under 2 minutes left.
He's back to putting the pressure on. 1 hook in. Will he step over and get number 2? Not quite.
Now it's Quinn just controlling Sorin. Sorin wanting to pass guard, but the left leg of Quinn keeping him from doing so. So scrambling here with 1.5 minutes left in the fight. Sorin in side control, slashing away with the elbows.
a little bit frustrating, I have to admit, that Surin didn't get his gas going until round 3. So, see, he has some talent, had some good top pressures, decent ground and pound, but didn't get it going until round 3.
Myriad Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, 4-0, 2 knockout wins, 1 submission win on his resume. And now with the clock ticking down, the final 60 seconds of the fight.
Could have been the big lights, but didn't really get it going until this round 3, where I think he has looked good.
It has been his best round by far, with 45 seconds now left, and it's Surin looking for the guillotine.
Not in position.
Oh, right hand connects by Surin on Quinn. And you wonder how much is left in Quinn's gas tank as he looks to reverse.
Nice. Enough to angle.
Yeah.
Just answered the question. He cut the angle, was able to get out of bad position.
Competitive bout here in the Bellator MMA men's lightweight division, as Marcus the Blueprint Surin and the mighty Ryan Quinn scheduled to compete in the prelims. Hey, they put on a show here on the main card of Bellator 185. It's going to the judges' scorecards. All right, here is our Blackheart Premium Spiced Rum replay, the bold 93 proof rum that is edgy to the core.
The story of this fight, whoever got on top had success in rounds 1 and 2. That was Quinn. Great stuff against the fence, commitment to the double leg. Hooks in, went for a few chokes, but the takedown was the story of this fight.
Will Marcus Surin remain undefeated, or will Ryan Quinn improve to 14-7-1? Find out next. Welcome back to the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut. Michael C. Williams has the official decision of our lightweight contest between Ryan Quinn and Marcus Surin.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the official decision, we'll go to your judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Derek Cleary, Jeff Mullen, and Dave Peabody, all see the fight exactly the same at 29-28 for the winner by unanimous decision, Ryan the Mighty Quinn.
So the mighty Ryan Quinn spoils the Bellator debut of Marcus Surin, handing him his first defeat as Quinn improves to 8-1 in Bellator, 14-7-1 overall. Well, still to come in our main event, a much-anticipated middleweight matchup as we go inside the numbers. Gegard-Mousasi against Alexander ШЛЕМЕНКO.
You see that, 36 wins by KO or submission. Alexander ШЛЕМЕНКO, 40 wins by KO or submission. These guys are killers, outstanding finishing instincts. That's been the hallmarks of their careers.
And Gegard-Mousasi, the latest in a free agent feeding frenzy for Bellator MMA.
McDonald versus Daly, he looks so sharp in London, tight with the strike, but once this hit the ground, look at the rear naked choke finish. Rory McDonald looking great, setting up his title shot with the champ Douglas Lima in January. Ryan Bader versus the champ Phil Davis, a rematch at MSG. Ryan Bader came in with a lot of confidence, mixing up his striking and his takedown. Close fight, he ends up winning the belt in his Bellator debut. And Roy Big Country Nelson versus Javi Ayala. It was the jiu-jitsu, the takedown, the top pressure of Roy Nelson that wore Javi Ayala down. He ended up winning a decision victory in his Bellator debut.
How will Gegard-Mousasi fare in his Bellator MMA debut? That's still to come on Bellator 185.
Still to come in the main event, it's Mousasi versus ШЛЕМЕНКO in a middleweight showdown. You're watching Bellator MMA live on Spike.
Welcome back to the Mohegan Sun Arena as Bellator 185 continues. But first, I want to remind everyone that on November 3rd, we will be at the Collegiate Wrestling Capital Penn State University. A stacked lineup, 2 title fights. Alima Lay McFarland taking on Emily Ducote in our women's flyweight world title fight. Then we've got Ryan Bader defending his strap against Linton Vassell. All right, a guy that's no stranger to some grappling, Jimmy Smith, joins me now to break down these 2 fights. Let's talk about our headliner, Ryan Bader. Last time we saw him, he took the belt from Phil Davis at MSG tonight. November 3rd. He will face Linton Vassell, who's riding a 3-fight win streak. Lots of confidence between these 2 heading into this fight, what can fans expect?
They can expect a battle for position. Linton Vassell's strength is his submission game. He generally does that on top. We saw Bader against another wrestler in Phil Davis. He has a great takedown, great ground and pound. The top positioning almost always belongs to him. Linton Vassell is a warrior. He's physically extremely strong, confidence in his striking, but it's really his finishing ability with his jiu-jitsu. The problem is, as we saw against Liam McGeary, he needs to be on top to use it. Will he get that chance against the wrestler Ryan Bader? That's the question.
Well, that is a good question, and we are in for a treat that night. Nittany Lions fans are in for a treat. Our other title fight, it's the inaugural women's flyweight title fight. Ilima Lei McFarland, it's a rematch with Emily Ducote. These two are very familiar with each other. So what changes in this fight, Jimmy?
The title fight, it's 5 rounds, titles on the line, extra pressure, more rounds, big lights, and remember, the winner fights the same fight twice. It's the loser that has to go back to the drawing board and improve. Ilima Lei McFarland can't be ready for the same person again. She knows Emily Ducote is going to get better. Those are the keys, the adjustments both fighters have to make.
Well, we love hearing your expert commentary, Jimmy, but anytime that we get the chance to hear from the flyweight herself, we're going to take it. Joining us now, Ilima Lei McFarland. Ilima Lei, you just heard Jimmy there. Look, a lot of hard work has gone into getting to you to this moment. You're 6-0. What does it mean to you to be a part of Bellator history, the first ever flyweight women's title fight?
You know, not only is this making Bellator history, it's making MMA history. Whoever wins that bout on November 3rd is going to be the #1 female flyweight in the world, and hopefully it's me.
Now, having a rematch against Emily Ducote, you already beat her, but like I said, the loser goes back to the drawing board. The loser makes improvements. How much do you think that experience helps you, having beat her before, or is it all out the window? It's a new fight.
Honestly, it's all out the window at this point. We were on the ground. We were on our feet. We were against the cage. We know each other's style. We know what we're strong at. And, you know, I think that it's going to be another back-and-forth fight. Emily's an amazing fighter. If I could have chose anybody more deserving than her, it would have been her that I chose to fight for this belt.
All right, Ilima Lei, when that flower comes out and that cage door closes, what can fight fans expect? How are you going to call this fight for November 3rd for you two?
When the flower comes off and the cage door closes, the tita's going to come out. And in Hawaii, that's a term we use for girls who like to fight. So you guys are going to see the tita.
All right, well, we cannot wait to see you two in the cage. That's November 3rd. That's one of the 2 title fights. Plus, we've got the return of Penn State alums Phil Davis, Ed Ruth. That's all November 3rd. And if you want to see that fight, those fights live. Tickets are on sale now at the Arena box office as well as Ticketmaster. All right, time for some more fight action. Moro, back down to you.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. We will crown the first ever Bellator MMA Women's Flyweight Champion next month. But up next, 2 women who would love to one day vie for that title. Heather Hardy promises to bring the heat in her sophomore outing after a successful Bellator MMA debut in her backyard at Madison Square Garden. She will welcome Christina Williams to the Bellator MMA cage. Bellator MMA is brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports. And we're about to watch more women's flyweight action. Heather Hardy is 20-0 as a boxer, but has fallen in love in MMA after a successful Bellator MMA debut. She welcomes Christina Williams to the Bellator MMA cage for her first fight as a pro.
And now, ready to make her way to the cage, Christina Warhorse Williams.
28-year-old Christina Williams making the walk for the first time as a professional. Jimmy, she's undefeated in amateur MMA, undefeated in amateur kickboxing, undefeated in amateur boxing, but this is a whole new kettle of fish.
It is true, but 0-0 doesn't mean what it once meant. It's an extensive amateur system. She's done time in the cage. She's going to walk in there much more prepared than 0-0 meant a few years ago.
At a full training camp, super excited to make her debut tonight.
And now ready to make her way to the cage, Heather the Heat Hardy.
And to paraphrase the brilliant Alicia Keys, Heather Hardy was en fuego in her debut at Madison Square Garden. The Brooklyn native who debuted in front of their family and friends, and what a fight it was, Jimmy.
Now, not just impressive in terms of her technique, her punches, she just plastered the place with Yager's face. It's that she dealt with the emotions Madison Square Garden, fans screaming her name, that would have overwhelmed a lot of fighters, not her.
Women's flyweight action in 60 seconds. Social media is buzzing about this matchup. It's the women's flyweight division. The tail of the tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
And Heather Hardy, late start to her MMA career, 35 to Christina Williams, 28.
With the official introductions, here is Michael C. Williams.
Live on Spike and presented by Miller Lite. Bellator MMA returns now to the flyweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. We introduce the blue corner at 5'8", weighing in 126 pounds even. Tonight, she makes her professional debut from Edmond, Oklahoma, presenting Christina Warhorse Williams. And across the cage, her adversary, out of the red corner, at 5'5", weighing in 126 pounds even, the undefeated professional boxing champion returns to the Bellator cage, where tonight she stands at 1-0. She fights out of Brooklyn, New York, presenting Heather the Heat Hardy. In charge of the action, your referee, Todd Anderson.
Todd Anderson, third person in the cage. Bell in round one. Fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Cheers, it's Miller time. Heather Hardy in the red gloves, Christina Williams in the blue gloves, and they are wasting no time in getting it on.
Kicks from Williams, punches from Hardy. Like that, unorthodox strikes, that's what she's gonna need. Yager wanted to slug it out at close range with Hardy. That was her doom in this fight. Williams attacking with kicks. I like that early.
Hardy said she's working on acclimating herself to the range and speed of MMA as these two are lighting each other up like a jack-o'-lantern early. Hardy gave herself a C+ in her first fight. Has been working less on boxing, more on kickboxing and jiu-jitsu.
I tell you what, Williams is not fighting scared. She is not fighting like the underdog. She's being very aggressive out there, but also composed.
The 28-year-old Williams began training Taekwondo at 15. She's a black belt in Taekwondo. Began training MMA at 23, and in her first pro fight, well, she seems to be wanting to seize the moment as much as Heather Hardy in just her second pro outing.
But she's doing it in a smart way, leading with kicks, finishing with kicks. Isn't going out there trying to slug with big punches. She's throwing a lot of punches, but they're in between an offense that started and finished by kicks.
It was Williams' brother, Joshua, former MMA fighter, who got her interested in mixed martial arts. And again, we talked about her credentials. She went 8-0 as an amateur kickboxer, 1-0 in amateur boxing, 3-0 with 1 knockout in amateur MMA. And looking to put her skills on display here in round 1 against Heather Hardy, who, well, both of them are bringing the heat.
If you don't know how to deal with kicks, if you haven't seen a lot of them, you're not used to checking, the one piece of advice I would give is every time she kicks, you punch, come over top, make her pay for every kick she throws. That's what Hardy's starting to do.
Stiff jab by Hardy, and then she tried to avoid the kick of Williams, but Williams was able to score.
You know, what these kicks do is they allow Williams to get in punching range without Hardy stopping with the jab. She blocks the kick, and then she sets her feet down, and she's in punching range, and she unloads.
And Williams mixing up the punches and kicks while Hardy punching wildly, eats a couple of stiff elbows. Midpoint of what has been a fantastic opening round.
She's already starting to welt Hardy up, especially on that left side. Those elbows over the top.
And again, Christina Williams remains composed, showing off a diverse attack here in her first professional outing. Not to take anything away from Heather Hardy, and just because she might have more of the press clippings that she ate that right head kick, she's still very much a neophyte when it comes to MMA.
Very true. I love the attitude so far of Williams. I don't care if you're the favorite. I don't care what you accomplished in boxing. I'm not coming out here scared. Great statement to make.
But it does concern me, and we heard it from Anna Hulatan, who lost earlier tonight, that Hardy would love to stay active as a boxer. I think in this day and age, Jimmy, you got to focus on one sport and one sport only.
They're too good. They're too good in both sports.
A minute and a half left in the opening round.
Joe Warren, first he said, I'm going to win Olympic gold after I'm done with MMA. He says, man, I went back to the training center. Guys I was pinning were vicious, coming out.
Speaking of
doing his wrestling.
a vicious exchange here between Williams and Hardy.
Hardy has not found her comfort zone yet. She's had flashes of offense. Certainly hasn't been in the pocket where she wants to be.
Williams' composure really impressive.
That's what I mean about that amateur system. You come in 0-0, but she's had amateur kickboxing fights, amateur MMA fights. It helps you so much in dealing with those nerves.
Final 45 seconds of what has been a fantastic first round between Heather Hardy and Christina Williams here in the women's flyweight division. But Hardy already wearing the vestiges of battle.
The surprising thing is it's been a striking battle, and I have Williams ahead. Not a lot of people expected that.
Williams with a 2-inch reach advantage, the taller of the two fighters, looking to impose her will and skill in her first fight as a professional. And what a memorable opening round, what a memorable start to Christina Williams' professional MMA career. Round 2 is straight ahead. Jimmy, how did you have that first round on your unofficial scorecard?
Easy, 10-9 Williams. It was a striking battle. She was the better striker.
Time! Up here. You good, Doc? All right. Timer! All right, here we go. Here we go.
Look at that hook right over top. That's where Williams has had a lot of success.
Ready, ready, hey!
The bell and round 2. Heather Hardy in the red gloves. Christina Williams in the blue gloves, and she connects with that spinning back kick. And it really was her kickboxing that proved to be the difference in that first 5 minutes.
Hand to foot, foot to hand. Great versatility, great combinations.
And she is putting the combinations together on Heather Hardy.
Don't box the boxer, you kickbox the boxer. That's what she's doing. Throwing in hands and feet. Those are angles that Heather Hardy just isn't used to seeing yet.
Both of these women educated. Hardy with a degree in forensic psychology from John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Williams has a degree in criminology from the University of Oklahoma. And boy, talk about a boomer sooner. A lot of boomers here from Williams. Alima Leigh McFarland, who will have an opportunity to become the first ever Bellator MMA Women's Flyweight Champion. She's impressed with what she's seen thus far.
Whenever she says holy balls, I mean, she means it. I mean, that's an Alima Leigh expression. That's her thing.
You seem to be impressed with what she said in her interview as well.
When the Titum comes out, I guess everybody pays attention. That's what I'm learning tonight.
90 seconds have flown by here in round 2. Williams remains composed. Great edging. Battering Heather Hardy. And Heather Hardy's face sporting a crimson mask. Wow. The nose has been pulverized.
That nose is done. It is done. Halloween's coming early. Look at this. I think the doctor's going to come in. They might stop this. Because that is bad. Thank you.
And the referee calling for a timeout after her proboscis has been pulverized. Christina Williams lighting up Heather Hardy.
Calling it.
And Christina Williams, welcome to Bellator MMA. What a debut.
Aspiration of blood.
Vicious.
Wow.
Vicious from start to finish. Wow.
And here is our Black Heart Premium Spiced Rum Replay, the bold 93 proof rum that's edgy to the core. You know, something tells me Christina Williams has a Black Heart of the good kind.
She does. She does not let up, and look at the kick. Bang! That just shattered the nose of Heather Hardy. Look at the timing on this, reminiscent of Pat Kerr and Marlon Sandro. Just bang! Right to the nose. Doctor took a look at it, and this was over. But look at the timing on this kick. This is in real time. Take a look at the speed on this kick. Bam! Oh, wow! That's a crack that will end a fight, and that's exactly what it did.
The official announcement when we come back. Christina Williams victorious in her pro debut. Heather Hardy once dreamed of being a New York Yankees pitcher. She may need as many stitches as a baseball after what she just went through, courtesy of this young lady, Christina Williams. Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, upon examination by the cage side official, the cage side physician waves off the contest official time. 2 minutes into round number 2, the winner by TKO now, an undefeated professional, Christina the Warhorse Williams.
Jimmy Smith is standing by with the victor.
I'm here with your winner, Christina Williams. Halloween came early. That was vicious. That was bloody. What gave you all the confidence coming into this fight?
I don't know. I mean, I feel really comfortable when I get in the cage. It's just my place, and like, I don't know. I just was ready when I got in here.
The rest of the division at 125 on notice from this performance. It seems like every kick was designed to injure, was designed to land perfectly. Was that part of your game plan?
I mean, I was training for her overhand right in boxing, and yeah, so I followed my game plan, and it worked out.
Alima Leigh McFarland, Emily Ducote fighting for the inaugural flyweight women's title at Penn State in our next fight. What's your message to the rest of the division?
I mean, I'm ready for anyone.
You heard it. Great performance. She's ready now. Undefeated Christina Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
You can't make a much better first impression. There is a new player in the Bellator MMA Women's Flyweight Division. It's Christina Warhorse Williams. What a sensational debut as she starches Heather Hardy here tonight. Still to come, a member of the first family of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu looks to remain undefeated. And yeah, it's all about the family business. 20 family members have fought professionally in MMA. Neiman Gracie hopes to remain unbeaten when he welcomes Zach Busha to the Bellator MMA cage. Busha, 18-8. will replace the injured Javier Torres. Took the fight last Saturday, but he's ready to take on Neiman Gracie next. The Bellator MMA pain train rolls to State College, Pennsylvania, and Penn State University for a championship doubleheader. Ryan Bader in his maiden voyage as light heavyweight champ defends against Linton Vassell, and history will be made. Alima Leigh McFarland or Emily Ducote will walk out of Penn State, the first ever Bellator MMA women's flyweight champion, and it's a homecoming for Happy Valley alum Phil Davis and Ed Ruth, two decorated wrestlers.
Now, Phil Davis told me, he said he was a national champion at Penn State. I had a lot of records in my weight class. I did some great things, and Ed Ruth came and got rid of all my records. He won 3 national titles. Both guys powerhouses in their division. The resurgence of Penn State under Cale Sanderson as coach in the last few years has really been absolutely extraordinary. These two wrestlers were part of the backbone of that change. They're coming back to some great memories.
The next time you will see Bellator MMA live and free on Spike is Friday, November 3rd, Bellator 186 at Penn State. But coming up next, action in the Bellator MMA men's welterweight division. Neiman Gracie puts his perfect record on the line against Bellator MMA newcomer Zach Busha. That's next. Bellator 185 coming to you from one of our favorite spots, the majestic Mohegan Sun, the 15th time that Bellator MMA has been held here at the Mohegan Sun Arena, and now we are set for action in the Bellator MMA men's welterweight division. The undefeated Naaman Gracie against Bellator newcomer Zach Busha.
And now ready to make his way to the cage, Zach Busha.
33-year-old Zach Busha replaced the injured Javier Torres on short notice. In fact, he took this fight last Saturday. He does bring a 3-fight winning streak to the Bellator MMA cage. That includes a May 20 decision victory over UFC and Strikeforce vet Bobby Volker.
He said, I was prepared for this fight. I was physically ready. I hadn't taken any time off since my last fight. He said, physically, I'm walking in there in good shape. Naaman Gracie doesn't believe that. He's going to find out.
He has secured 9 of his 18 pro wins via submission, but he's facing a Gracie.
And now, set to make his way to the cage, Naaman Gracie.
He's facing 28-year-old Naaman Gracie. Representing the Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy. His head trainer is his uncle Renzo. Began training Jiu-Jitsu at 4 years of age and coming off a memorable win at Madison Square Garden.
In Gracie fashion, what does that mean? Position before submission, strangling him with the legs before you strangle him with the choke. Great performance at Madison Square Garden.
Received his black belt at 22, the great-grandson of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu founder Carlos Gracie. This fight is 60 seconds away. Time for the penultimate fight of the night. The tail of the tape brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
And look at the experience advantage for Zach Busha, 18-8. Naaman Gracie 6-0, but hasn't fought that frequently.
With the official introductions, here once again is Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA, presented by Miller Lite, now features tonight's co-main event, 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Brought to you by Spike Sports. We introduce the blue corner. At 5'10", weighing in 170.3 pounds. Making his Bellator debut, he enters with 18 professional victories, 8 defeats. He fights out of Lawrence, Kansas, Zach Busha. And across the cage is adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 170.5 pounds. Undefeated as a professional, he enters with 6 victories, no defeats. By way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, he fights out of New York, introducing Naaman Gracie. In charge of the action, your referee, Kevin McDonald.
So Kevin McDonald will oversee this fight. Naaman Gracie, of course, many members of the Gracie family in attendance, including Royce Gracie, the Hall of Famer.
Ready to fight? Ready to fight? Let's go.
And the bell and round 1. Fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Cheers, it's Miller time. Naaman Gracie in the red gloves. Zach Busha in the blue gloves.
And Busha so low in his stance, he's immediately thinking takedown defense.
3 of Gracie's 6 victories have been via first-round submission. 6-0 and 3-0 since dropping to welterweight in February of 2015. The takedown defense being exhibited by Busha early on, pummeling along the fence.
Don't expect Gracie to give up on it. He's going to keep working that body lock and takedown, circle around to the back.
Already has.
That's exactly where he didn't want to be.
We just saw Royce Gracie, and, well, he was Naaman's childhood hero. And Naaman Gracie has taken Busha to the canvas.
Trapped the arm as well. Look at that. And this could be over quickly. Has his arm free, but still in a ton of trouble. And this is bad. Dry, not sweaty. 4 minutes left in the round. Plenty of time.
Gracie would love to work his way into title contention, fishing for the rear naked choke. And speaking of the Bellator welterweight title, Douglas Lima defends it against Rory McDonald January 20th at the Forum in Los Angeles. Gracie believes that Rory will emerge victorious in that fight.
I think Lima has something to say about that. It's going to be a great fight.
Who actually worked with Gegard-Mousasi, and Mousasi in his Bellator MMA debut still to come, but what a fight it is going to be to kick off the year. And look at what Neiman Gracie doing to Zach Buescha here.
But you notice what he does. He goes for it for a second. It's not there. He switches, lets it go.
Doesn't waste energy.
Doesn't waste any energy. It's a slow burn kind of fight.
24 years he's been training the family business, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And as you mentioned, Jimmy, all about the position before the submission, the patience.
Yep.
And he's got his hooks in. He is firmly controlling Zach Buescha here in round one. It's like watching those videos in the animal kingdom, and you know, the animal,
something that was born to do this.
Exactly.
That's what it looks like. Buescha trying to defend, doing a good job, but so far no way out of this position. Neiman Gracie all over him.
Buescha's never been submitted. He's 18-8 overall. And Bellator MMA fan. Not good when you have a Gracie on your back. In other news, water is wet.
Yep.
Oh, but Buescha doing his best to try to reverse on Neiman Gracie. A minute and a half remaining in the opening round. And again, we talked about it. Buescha does have 9 submission wins, 6 knockout victories, 33 years of age.
Look at the twist on the legs, though.
Man.
Buescha just can't straighten his hips out and get his posture back because Neiman has him twisted up in this body lock. Yeah.
Body triangle. A minute remaining, and Buescha's
rubber guard.
Escape, yes.
Well, new school.
On his, well, you know, the evolution. And now the omoplata. Gracie looking for his first omoplata victory, a rarity in MMA, and then it quickly transitions. Man, he's so beautiful to watch. Really, these guys Gracie's been
inverted heel hook
canvas than a Picasso or Rembrandt, and they really, it is a work of art. It's the art in mixed martial arts, as far as I'm concerned. Under 30 seconds left in the opening round. Good scramble.
Going heel hook again. Could straighten it out a knee bar. A lot of options from here, and all of them are dangerous. Standard heel hook.
And Buescha delivering some fists to disrupt Neiman Gracie. Gracie looking for that knee bar, but time will run out here in the opening 5 minutes. The lovely Mercedes and Lindsay always brightening up the room here at Bellator MMA, the Mohegan Sun Arena. Great crowd on hand, and this is the 15th time that Bellator MMA has been at this venue as we get set for round number 2. Body kick by Buescha. He's in the blue gloves. Gracie in the red. How did you score the opening round on your unofficial scorecard, Jim?
Well, easy for Neiman Gracie. I went 10-9. I didn't go 10-8. Definitely a 10-9 round. Wouldn't surprise if the judge went 10-8 on that. It was completely one-sided.
Head kick by Gracie now. Uses punches to close the gap. Looks for the takedown, but now Buescha defending. I have to take those words.
Clean, bro. I know. I can feel the guilt coming off of you right now. Oh, I know you've been eating terribly here. You know, it's a casino. There's great restaurants here. Yeah, we eat. That's what I have for lunch. I don't even feel bad, bro. Did my days. I'm not cutting weight anymore, man.
Buescha tries to defend the takedown and unable to do so as Gracie.
He's waiting for him to turn. Exactly. It's not just a takedown. I just have to remember with the Gracies, it's not just a takedown like a wrestler would do it. It's waiting for that moment for you to turn your back. They'll jump and put hooks in when they're on the feet. Doesn't matter to him. Oh, got away with the grab there.
Buescha was holding on to the advertising. And there's Gracie again. Takes the back, looking to put the hooks, and immediately goes for the rear naked choke.
2 hooks in, back where he started.
How do you defend this, Jimmy?
Don't get in it.
I mean, is there any, I agree, I understand, but I mean,
I know that's genius commentary, but it's so hard
it's
once you're in this position. Now what are you worried about?
Yeah.
You're worried about your neck. You're worried about the choke. But, man, can you have a body like, especially when someone has legs like Neiman Gracie? What he wants to do is put the flat of his back on the ground, turn toward Neiman Gracie. You risk giving up mount, but that's the only way out of this position. Kind of scrape Neiman off of his back, but easier said than done.
Yeah.
So much easier said than done. The problem that he's getting into this is his tendency to defend the takedown by turning his body. That gives Neiman Gracie his back. And, you know, that's really the rub of taking on a guy like Neiman Gracie who's been grappling his whole life. What's the advice in between corners if you don't already know how to deal with this? He's got him in the neck, and that's it!
More of a neck crank than a rear naked choke, but it's a submission. And much to the delight of Royce Gracie, Neiman Gracie improves to 7-0 with his 6th submission win.
Neck crank, choke, I'll take whatever I can get. A tap is a tap. Beautiful job again by Neiman Gracie.
And here is our Blackheart Premium Spiced Rum replay, the bold 93 proof rum that's edgy to the core.
He had been having trouble getting the rear naked choke, been in good position, but hadn't been able to get the choke. Look how he commits to this crank. Goes across the chin this time. Look at it here. Rather than go for a choke that he hadn't been able to get before, he stays on the chin and cranks it to the right. Look at the torque on the neck. Brutal stuff by Neiman Gracie, but a technical change. He turns his entire body to get the neck crank because he didn't want to waste any more time looking for the rear naked choke.
The official announcement when we come back, Gracie remains unbeaten in the Bellator MMA cage. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's go to Michael C. Williams for the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, the tap comes by way of a neck crank. Official time, 2 minutes, 27 seconds into round number 2. The winner by submission, still undefeated, Neiman Gracie.
And Neiman Gracie gets to talk to our Jimmy Smith.
I'm here with your winner, Neiman Gracie. Neiman, you had his back, round 1, round 2, hunting for the rear naked choke. Did you make a conscious decision to go for that neck crank because you committed to it 100%?
So before saying anything about the finish, I want to thank my opponent because he took this fight on short notice, you know? My other opponent, he backed off the fight in a week, and he took this fight in a week notice. He's a true warrior. The guy has almost 30 fights. So everybody, please, a round of applause to him. Thank you, Zach. So with the submission, I wasn't able to sink the hand under his neck because of those gloves. So I needed to switch for something else, and I went for the neck crank. The guy has almost 30 fights and never been submitted, and I was able to do it. I'm really happy.
I see your father's shirt honoring Royce Gracie. You have family here in attendance. That's the past. What's the future for you and your MMA career? Carry on to that name.
The future is to keep representing, to keep the legacy alive. So doesn't matter how many years pass by, we're always going to have a Grace representing. Eu quero mandar abraço para todo mundo no Brasil, o pessoal da Fox Fight Club, todo mundo aí no Brasil. Meu amor, tô indo para casa. Nossa filha tá chegando, te amo.
We can't wait to see you again. Neiman Gracie, ladies and gentlemen, give him a hand.
And there is Henzo and Royce celebrating with Neiman Gracie. What a class act, gracious in victory. And by the way, we received a tweet from Bellator welterweight champion Douglas Lima telling us to tell Mr. Neiman Gracie that, well, Lima was rooting for him in this fight, but not anymore because of the fact that Gracie has picked Rory McDonald to beat Mr. Lima when they fight for the Bellator welterweight title. Hey, Lima spent some time training with Gegard Mousasi, and Mousasi is about to make his much ballyhooed Bellator MMA debut. jumping ship from the UFC, and now will face former Bellator middleweight champion Alexander Storm ШЛЕМЕНКO. You might want to super glue your eyes open for this one, or not.
Oh my God, body shot, dropped him. ШЛЕМЕНКO got the guillotine. I do not believe it. Man, what a shot. That is vintage Alexander ШЛЕМЕNKO.
Mohegan Sun Arena's played host to myriad memorable Bellator MMA moments, and we could be in store for some more coming up in the main event. Social media has been buzzing, Jimmy, about this fight. Former Bellator middleweight champion Alexander ШЛЕМЕNKO wants to spoil the debut of prized free agent Gegard Mousasi.
Yeah, he's defending his house. You said it. He used to have the middleweight title in Bellator, and the way he defends it, his spinning techniques, his unorthodox work, he catches fighters with what they don't expect, and he has incredible finishing instincts. We've seen it over and over again. Every interview we ask fighters about Alexander ШЛЕМЕNKO, they say, that stuff's not working on me. The spinning kicks, the back fist, well, guess what? It's going to work on you, too. The liver shot, he's incredibly accurate, and as soon as he gets you off balance, he will not let you off the hook. He is a true warrior.
Gegard Mousasi, a well-traveled veteran, was one of the top middleweights in the UFC, went 9-3 in the octagon, but decided to jump ship. And in this, the main event, he has an opportunity with a win to vie for the Bellator middleweight title.
He certainly does. And what I love about Gegard Mousasi isn't just his confidence, isn't just his skill set. Look at the names of the fighters he has beaten. All different body types, all different skill sets. He has an incredibly high fight IQ. He finds a way to win. Doesn't matter the weight class, doesn't matter what skill set you bring. There's a way to win. I'm going to find it. That's what experience has given him.
They have combined for 116 pro MMA bouts, the most experience in a Bellator main event. Up next, Gegard Mousasi makes his much-anticipated Bellator debut as he takes on former world champion Alexander ШЛЕМЕNKO. It's the main event, and it's next when Bellator MMA Live on Spike returns. It is the main event here at Bellator.185 from the Mohegan Sun Arena. The debut in the Bellator cage, Gegard Mousasi. The former Bellator middleweight champion Alexander ШЛЕМЕNKO. Let the games begin.
And now, ready to make his way to the cage, Alexander Storm ШЛЕМЕNKO.
A main event that promises plenty of thunder and lightning. Bellator MMA's Oktoberfest of Fistic Fury. Storm ШЛЕМЕNKO riding a 5-fight win streak, undefeated in his previous 7 fights, 6 wins and a no contest. He has 17 wins via first round and knockout, 5 via first round submission.
That experience level, the confidence level, this walk to the cage, the noise, the screen, the lights, it doesn't mean anything to him. He's clocking in, he's doing his job. He's a guy who's so difficult to unbalance mentally. He never seems nervous. He never seems out of sorts. He's incredibly consistent in the Bellator cage. That's been his strength. That's what experience has given him, confidence.
This past June, he avenged his loss to Brandon Halsey, who had previously beat him for the Bellator title. The loss to Halsey, very disappointing. It came in a mere 35 seconds. Well, he returned the favor and then some. He scored a TKO in just 25 seconds in the rematch. championships, was a champion in Strikeforce, a champion in Dream. Went 9-3 in the UFC's octagon, and tonight, Gegard-Mousasi makes his Bellator MMA debut. 35 of his 42 wins have been via stoppage. 31 of those in the opening round.
You have called him in, what, 4 promotions?
4 promotions.
This is my 3rd. He's been a road warrior. He's come into other people's houses. He's switched promotions before, so this is nothing new to him. Those butterflies, those jitters, I don't believe he is feeling them. He is a consummate professional in there and brings incredible skills.
And he hopes to feel higher than birthday boy Snoop Dogg after his Bellator debut. Will he be victorious? He came over to Bellator because he wants to be the Bellator middleweight champion. In fact, he has his sights set on being Bellator light heavyweight champion. First things first, he has to face the former champ. Let's go to the tail of the tape, brought to you by Dave & Buster's, the only place to eat, drink, play, and watch sports.
You talk about the experience, but the difference between these two fighters, what really stands out to me is Gegard-Mousasi has fought comfortably at 205. He has fought at heavyweight. He's very big for this weight class. Alexander Shlemenko is a big 170. He's never been a big guy at 186 pounds.
With the official introductions, here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, live on Spike, Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA from Mohegan Sun. The time has come for the main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Sanctioned by the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation, Chairman Kevin Brown, Chief of the Mohegan Tribe Lynn Malerba, supervising at cage side Mike Mazzulli and Mike Murtha. Tonight, the main event is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. It's Miller time. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 5'11", weighing in 186 pounds, the former Bellator middleweight world champion stands with 56 professional victories, 9 losses, and 1 no contest. Hailing from Omsk, Russia, presenting Alexander Storm Shlemenko. Across the cage, his adversary, tonight fighting out of the red corner at 6'2", weighing in 185.8 pounds, racking up multiple championships en route to becoming one of the world's best. Tonight, he makes his Bellator debut, bringing 42 professional victories, 6 defeats, and 2 draws. Fighting out of Leerdorp, South Holland, Netherlands, introducing Gegard-Mousasi. The referee in charge of the action, Dan Mergliata.
All right, gentlemen, let's go to the center, please. All right, gentlemen, we've been to the rules of the locker room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to protect yourselves at all times. If you want to touch gloves, good luck, do it now. Good luck to both of you.
75 finishes between them. 3 5-minute rounds in the Bellator MMA middleweight division. Referees Dan Mergliata. It's the main event for Bellator 185. Storm Shlemenko welcomes Gegard-Mousasi to the Bellator MMA cage. The bell and round 1. The fight clock brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. Cheers. It's Miller time. Mousasi in the red gloves, Shlemenko in the blue. We should mention, Jimmy, both fighters did pass their drug tests. Remember, back in 2015, Shlemenko was suspended for 3 years after testing positive for steroids. That ban was lifted. Both have tested clean for this fight.
Shlemenko to kind of push the action. He's always aggressive. I'm wondering if we'll see a takedown quick from Mousasi. That's the X factor. He has a great submission game.
Mousasi has the added incentive of already being promised an opportunity to face the winner of the Rafael Carvalho-Alessio Sakara middleweight title fight coming up in Italy in December. Shlemenko, the southpaw, coming forward.
Hard for the takedown.
Yeah, Mousasi changing levels, but
Shlemenko has a very good guillotine. He's tapped guys from this spot before.
He has 4 guillotine submission wins.
And Mousasi cutting the angle, though. He's not going to let that happen.
And Mousasi has been submitted 3 times, including via guillotine choke.
Well, that was Jacare. That guy has an amazing ground game.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Of course, he also delivered an up kick.
Yeah, 1-1 with Jacare.
Yeah. Well, here is Douglas Lima, the Bellator welterweight champion. Again, he did spend time training with Mousasi in preparation for this fight. Of course, Lima preparing to face Rory McDonald for the Bellator welterweight title January 20th at the Forum in Los Angeles.
Mousasi keeping the pressure on, flinging him to the ground.
And of course, the size difference apparent there, Jimmy.
Yep.
And we've seen ШЛЕМЕНКО have problems in the past, including
both hooks
against
in.
Tito Ortiz.
Another neck crank.
Mousasi looking for the submission here in round one.
That's the advantage from ШЛЕМЕНКO. It's the position they're in. It's very hard for Mousasi to really put stretch with his legs, but he's going hard for it.
Half of Mousasi's 12 submission wins have been via rear naked choke.
Man, his right eye is swollen. Looks shut, actually.
Shut.
Yeah. That could be why we saw such a quick takedown, why he's going so hard for this submission finish.
ШЛЕМЕНКO has been submitted 4 times, including once via rear naked choke. Midway point of the opening round. And yes, that right eye has to be a point of concern for Gegard Mousasi.
Trying to make it a non-factor by getting the submission early.
Dropping elbows now to the side of ШЛЕМЕНКO's head. ШЛЕМЕНКO doing a good job of defending blindly.
I'm being told it was an overhand left that opened up that eye.
Early in the round.
Swelled it shut. I'm sorry, didn't open it up, but swelled it shut. But Mousasi really putting pressure on, looking for this rear naked. ШЛЕМЕНКO just trying everything to defend here.
Mousasi riding a 5-fight win streak. His previous 4 fights have ended via striking. Now attempting to submit ШЛЕМЕНКO here in round 1, coming up on the final 90 seconds of the first round.
ŠЛЕМЕNKO is looking for his moment to turn. He's got to scrape his
body triangle. That's going to be tough.
It's very, very tough to do. Now Gegard going hard for it again, but he hasn't been under the chin yet. ŠЛЕМЕNKO's got to turn to his right and try and face Gegard. There he goes.
Reversal by ШЛЕМЕNKO. And that has to be a confidence booster. ШЛЕМЕNKO comes out firing. And immediately Mousasi changes level, but ШЛЕМЕNKO defending the takedown.
He is not standing at all. He's diving in for the takedown from the outside. He might not have any depth perception. That right eye is swollen shut. He's diving for these takedowns.
Under a minute remaining, and Mousasi in a, well, almost full mount here along the fence.
Yep.
Oh, and feeding ШЛЕМЕNKO with a right uppercut. ШЛЕМЕNKO battles back to his feet, looking for the double wrist lock.
Now, he's doing well in this round, but a lot of this is desperation stuff from Mousasi. He's not setting up a lot of stuff.
And Mousasi has ШЛЕМЕNKO's back again, under 30 seconds left.
Triangle! He has an excellent triangle. That's how he beat Dennis Kane.
He has 2 triangle choke wins on his resume. ШЛЕМЕNKO, though, now surging with strikes. In the final 15 seconds, he's looking for the guillotine. An eventful opening 5 minutes between Alexander ШЛЕМЕNKO and Bellator MMA newcomer Gegard Mousasi.
This was the left that caused problem. He reaches for the leg and throws this overhand left. Bam! Fedor Emelianenko, Chuck Liddell style. Igor Vovchanchyn for the old school fans. That overhand left, he committed to it.
Like a catapult.
Wow.
And it will become a factor as that eye is, man, can he see out of that right eye?
Doctor's checking it out again.
Wow.
Doc, he wants to look at his eye real quick.
Here's the test. It's
and
good.
The doctor is going to allow Mousasi to compete. The bell in round 2, Mousasi in the red gloves, ШЛЕМЕNKO in the blue, and you know that ШЛEMENKO is going to try to attack that right eye if he can. This is a spinning back fist, almost gives up his back again.
got to get off the fence as well. Has to use more footwork, I think, than he's used to using. He generally moves forward and backward. He's got to angle a bit more.
Shlemenko fighting out of a southpaw stance, delivers a body kick.
Because Mousasi just wants to put his back against the fence and dive for the takedown. Oh, look at that. That is insane. He's falling right to his back. Will Shlemenko leap in or he won't? That's a ballsy move.
The bigger Mousasi trying to keep Shlemenko at bay. Shlemenko with a left hand to the torso, and that right eye is practically sealed shut, and the spinning back fist just misses for Shlemenko. Minute gone here in the second.
See the same thing, feinting for the leg.
And a naked takedown defense there by Mousasi. Didn't set it up.
That's what Shlemenko needs to do. He needs to make Mousasi spend energy on takedowns he's not going to get. Don't give him that one and done. He dives in and gets a takedown.
Spinning back kick scores for Shlemenko.
This is a completely different Gegard Mousasi with that eye swollen shut. He is tentative. He does not want to mix it up with Shlemenko. He's trying to put him against the fence, make this a grappling match. Shlemenko can't sit against the fence like this. He can't take away his mobility.
Mousasi switches stances temporarily, ducks under the left hand of Shlemenko. 3 minutes now remaining in the second round. How did you have it? I didn't get a chance to ask you.
10-9 Mousasi in round one. Aside from the eye, I thought Mousasi controlled most of the round, took his back. This round two, a different story. So far, Mousasi nowhere near the ground with Shlemenko. Look at that. That was just a feint 1-2 just to get in this kind of position.
Halfway point of the round and the fight.
Shlemenko letting himself be trapped against the fence. That's what set up that takedown.
Old school foot stomp there by Mousasi.
On a takedown, takedown attempt, I'd say. Shlemenko has to claim the center and circle.
Shlemenko continues to utilize the spin.
Another spinning back fist.
And Mousasi trips Shlemenko and has his trying to go for his neck, but Shlemenko doing a good job of turning in to Mousasi.
Almost a high crotch position.
Under 2 minutes left in the second.
He's got to get his right arm free. Until he gets his right arm out, Gegard can spin and take his back. He has to be very conscious of that.
Mousasi feeding Shlemenko a couple of right hands under the armpit.
Drops him to the ground. He has to pull his head and his right arm out. Can't keep Gegard Mousasi there without that, because that'll happen. He'll step around and take his back.
Shlemenko still not allowing Mousasi to completely take his back. Now just drops down into the half guard now. Mousasi in top position. Try to make the most of this opportunity now in side control with under a minute 17 left in the round. Couple of short elbow strikes connect for Mousasi. And Shlemenko grabbing onto the cage, a minute left in the round. And Shlemenko does give up his back.
Just like he did in round one, we're seeing the jiu-jitsu weaknesses. Not coming close with submissions like he did in the first round.
And now he's going for it. His go-to submission. He has 6 on his resume, looking to make it 7, but unable to do so here with 30 seconds left in the second round.
But one thing to keep in mind with the scoring is he got the back much later in the round than he did in round number one.
He's attempting to finish.
Attempting to finish, but is it enough?
You're right. Effective striking, grappling.
Exactly.
So on and so forth.
I thought Alexander Shlemenko was more effective with the striking for more of this round.
We are through 10 minutes in our middleweight main event here at Bellator 185.
Right.
How do you have it after 10 minutes, Jimmy?
I have it all tied up, 19-19.
Başarı bu süre. Başla. Gegard. Yaş.
Mauro, I have said it before in interviews. People who think Bellator MMA is a victory lap have another thing coming. They come in from the UFC, wherever you're coming from, a free agent signing. It's a tough road here, and Gegard Mousasi is finding that out right now if you didn't know it already. Whether you have him ahead or you have him behind, this has been a very tough fight.
That ends well may prove to be his best friend. Well, Bellator brings 2 title fights to Penn State when light heavyweight champion Ryan Bader takes on the Swarm Linda Vassell and Bader's maiden voyage as champion, plus Alima Lay McFarlane and Emily Ducote go toe-to-toe for a second time to crown a women's flyweight champion. Bellator MMA, Friday, November 3rd, 9 p.m. live and free on Spike.
Good. Final round. Let's go. Final round.
Third and final round. Gegard Mousasi in his first Bellator MMA appearance in the red gloves. Former Bellator middleweight champion Storm ШЛЕМЕНКО in the blue gloves.
You talked in previous fights about targeting the body. That's something ШЛЕМЕНКO does extremely well. Liver kick, liver punch. Loves working that right side.
Spinning back kick through the liver there by ШЛЕМЕНКO. A blue kick by Mousasi.
What's bedeviled ШЛЕМЕНКO throughout this fight, he's been a little lazy with his footwork in terms of his in and out and his left to right angling. He tends to go straight back, and it's cost him when Gegard Mousasi has come in for that takedown.
Mousasi attacking the legs now with the low kicks.
Nice knee.
Knee by ШЛЕМЕNKO. Body kick with a 45. ШЛЕМЕNKO and a left hand to the body.
That was the end for Brandon Halsey, for all those who saw that fight in Russia.
Spinning back fist connects for ŠLEMENKO. Beginning to tag Mousasi here in the final round.
Same thing, reaching
Goes
for the
down,
leg.
right?
Going, yep, exactly. It's dangerous. He's committing with both hands, but it's worked. What he can't do is back up to the fence like this. That's where Mousasi's takedown has been effective. He doesn't have much of a center cage takedown. He's never a standout wrestler. He needs you to get against the fence to really make that takedown work. Targeting the liver over and over again. What that does, that brings that elbow down, brings the hand down on that side. And he can go over top just like that.
And it brings a smile to Hall of Famer El Guapo Boswitin's face.
Loves those liver shots.
Minutes left in the fight. ШЛЕМЕNKO picking on Mousasi here in the third round. Another liver kick by ШЛЕМЕNKO. Mousasi looking for the takedown. The Wizard defending for ШЛЕMENKO.
Same thing as last round, right halfway through the round. That's when ШЛЕМЕNKO finds himself pushed against the fence. Mousasi getting serious about the takedown.
Halfway.
Nice turn, but can't hold it.
2.5 minutes left in this fight.
And here's where that size disparity really becomes evident. Great job by ШЛЕМЕNKO.
Takedown by ШЛЕМЕNKO and Mousasi.
Throwing butterfly guard.
Look for an elevator sweep.
Yep. Or he can elevate and come out the left side underneath the arm. ШЛЕМЕNKO's got to back off right now. Get back to the center where he was having success.
2 minutes left. Mousasi back on his feet. Right hand by Mousasi. ШЛЕМЕNKO out of the southpaw stance, teeing him up for that left. Oh, telegraphing a spinning attack.
Since that eye has swollen shut, Mousasi really hasn't had an effective stand-up attack. You've seen the oblique kicks.
Oh, another good caught with a left hand from ШЛЕMЕNKO.
He can't see the strikes on that side, and that's the power side of ШЛЕMЕNKO.
Final 90 seconds in the fight.
He is blind.
Desperate for the takedown.
On the side he really needs to see, flops to his back. Looking for that up kick that he caught Jacare with.
Yes. And ШЛЕMЕNKO this time trying to test the waters on the ground. Nails Mousasi in round one with the left hand. Almost immediately, that right eye was swollen shut. And it's definitely hindered Mousasi's attack since, but Szlemenko, with a minute left now, what will he decide to do here?
And we've seen devastating ground and pound from Szlemenko. He doesn't seem to want to use it.
Well, he just passed the guard there now.
Oh, nice knee.
Back, a knee to the ribs, and now in north-south position. Szlemenko looking for the guillotine.
I don't know how you can give this third round to Gegard Mousasi. Szlemenko's just been all over him.
Under 30 seconds left in the fight. Now blood around that right eye of Gegard Mousasi. 15 seconds left.
On my scorecard, I think we have an upset here.
Szlemenko buckled Mousasi momentarily. We're going to the judges' scorecards in this middleweight main event. Szlemenko coming on.
Wow. Talk about not intimidated. Talk about making it his house. Szlemenko, great performance tonight. I thought he took the last 2 rounds.
There you go.
So you have it 29-28 on your unofficial scorecard for the former Bellator middleweight champion, Alexander Szlemenko.
For Szlemenko, Jimmy Smith MMA on Twitter. Please let me know what you think, fans. I value what you guys think. Yeah, they always do.
They will, Jimmy.
They always do. Second round, I think everything hinges on that second round. First round, clearly for Mousasi. Third round, clearly for Szlemenko. It's how you see that second round.
It's an interesting choice of words because Gegard Mousasi couldn't see out of his right eye for the majority of this fight. And here's our Blackheart Premium Spiced Rum Replay, the bold 93 proof rum that's edgy to the core.
So what started all the damage, the reach with the right hand, then the overhand left right to the eye.
That catapult left.
I think that completely changed the game plan. If Mousasi was thinking about striking, he did not do it much in this fight. It was about the takedown, almost got the rear naked choke quite a few times in round one. In round two, Szlemenko starting out successful, and the reason I didn't give him the second round, Mousasi, is he took the back, didn't come that close with many submissions on the ground, got it later in the round, and wasn't as active with his submission attempts in round two.
Well, it's up to the 3 judges seated at cage side to determine who will walk out of the Mohegan Sun Arena victorious. Will Gegard Mousasi win his Bellator MMA debut, or will Alexander Szlemenko make it 6 consecutive wins? Let's go to Michael C. Williams for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance in tonight's main event, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Judge Doug Crosby, 29-28. John English, 29-28. Derek Cleary, 29-28. All 3 judges have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Gegard Mousasi.
A razor-thin split decision win for Gegard Mousasi. You hear the crowd. Let's go to Jimmy Smith.
I'm here with your winner, Gegard Mousasi. Gegard, that is one tough Bellator debut. Closed up the eye in the first round. Was that a big factor in the fight?
Yeah, 100%. But he's a big puncher. 2-1.
Moving forward, I know you want a title shot at 185. You seem frustrated. You seem upset. What's on your mind, man?
Well, I had a lot of pressure coming in, but yeah, the eye shut down. I had to fight on instincts.
Well, those instincts proved to be just enough, man. We'll see you again in the Bellator cage. Gegard Mousasi, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, with one eye, Gegard Mousasi survives, wins a razor-thin split decision in his Bellator MMA debut. Coming up in November, the Bellator MMA pain train rolls on. Friday, November 3rd, we will come to you from Penn State, featuring Happy Valley alum Phil Davis, Ed Ruth, and a championship doubleheader. Friday, November 10th, we go across the pond back to Ireland And on Friday, November 17th, Bellator MMA will return to Tel Aviv, Israel. Well, another eventful night here in Bellator MMA. Lisa Blaine, in her Bellator MMA debut, spoiled Anna Houlihan's first fight in Bellator MMA. The mighty Quinn, proving to be mightier than Marcus Sorin. What a professional debut for Christina Williams as she took it to Heather Hardy. Neiman Gracie remains undefeated as well as he submits his short-notice opponent, Zach Busha, improving to 7-0 with 6 victories via form of submission. And then in the main event, I'm sure it'll be talked about, controversial split decision win for Gegard-Mousasi in his Bellator MMA debut. For Jen Brown, Jimmy Smith, and the rest of our Bellator MMA crew, I'm Mauro Ranallo. Thank you for watching. Good night from the Mohegan Sun Arena.